What's going on, everybody? Jerry with 3DHP, and it's time for another alien video, the XenoMorph alien. We'll get into it right after this. Welcome back. I'm so glad you could be here. Yeah, the XenoMorph alien project, if you've seen the last couple videos, I've got the legs done. They're glued together with glue. They're sitting on the base. The base is like 43 by 43 inches, made out of 2x4 plywood. And I went to Harbor Freight and I got some casters. That way, instead of cutting out the corner like I talked about in prior videos, I can carefully roll this around in my small hobby room here versus my display table that I do videos on and kind of position it where I need to put it. I've got a ton of parts here on the ground for the tail. I've got one more big one. I'll spin the camera around just a minute and show you. Once it gets done, we're going to run outside. We're going to clean everything up. We're going to talk about the sponsors, and we're going to get to gluing. And also, I got a lot of the parts done for the upper torso. So let me show you that right now. Let me spin the camera around. Okay, taking a close-up here. I got tons and tons of parts. Now, most of those were printed with tree supports, and some of them were very difficult to remove using pliers, wearing gloves on my hands. I got a bunch of tiny little cuts on some of them trying to get them off. And the smaller parts were done on the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, and the larger parts were done on my Cheaty iFast right here. Great printer, but it prints slow. I got it cranked up to 100 millimeters a second right now, and it's printing slow. And that last part of the tail right there is at 88% done. It's got like 11 hours left. And you know what? It has a filament runout sensor, but I'd already printed that part up to about where it's at now. I ran out of filament the other day. It's like, oh no. Contacted the company here like 6 months ago. They sent me new runout sensors. I replaced them. They didn't fix the problem, so the runout sensors do not work on it. And I don't know, about 2 or 3 days ago, I didn't realize I was going to run out overnight, and I did. So I'm reprinting that part now. And then on the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, I'm printing parts currently for the upper torso. So we got all these parts here done. We got a few right here, and we got the keys. Now that were all for the upper torso. And I've been using quite a bit of Polymaker, Polylite, PLA, and all this. They're sponsoring the build. Gloop is my sponsor. Glue Band sponsored the software to cut it. And Matt German assisted me in doing all this with Luban, as I mentioned in my other videos. Now, when I sliced everything in Luban, I sliced them to fit this printer right here or other large printers. I had contacted some printer companies regarding their new machines they were coming out with to possibly want to review and sponsor for this video, and none of them got back with me. I got ignored, so I designed everything to be cut in Luban for this printer, and by doing so, a lot of the parts were too large for the Bamboo Labs, and I had to come over here. Now, some of them do fit on the X1 Carbon. It prints perfect and very fast. I wish I would have sliced them differently so they all might have fit the X1 Carbon to speed up the printing process. But we need to jump outside right now, and we're going to get all those sanded up, scuffed up, cleaned up so that I can start gluing them together in glue and get the tail done. And here's a resin printed version of what I'm currently working on, the XenoMorph alien. That is by Wicked 3D. Their Patreon. They have amazing work. Gabriel and his team. He has around 30 to 35 amazing designers and sculptors. And I'm using Gloop for all this to glue it together. Gloop is sponsoring the glue. They initially sent me out the 2 bottles. Then they sent me out some Mega Gloop. And then I got these really awesome beakers from them. And these things are very cool. I still need to wash them up, and then I can use them for my refreshments or frosty beverages, whatever I choose to put in it. Now, one thing that I may do, you see that pole that I have there in the center, a piece of conduit, depending on how heavy the torso is, upper body, I may or may not use that for support, because I don't want so much weight to be on the upper part that it might break the legs. I don't think it will, but that's just a thought. It's not secured. The alien legs are currently just sitting there on the base. They're not mounted yet because I have to get the upper torso done. Then when the torso's done, I can attach the tail to the torso, figure out how it all goes together, and then figure out how I'm going to strap it to the base. But that is designed to be rolled around. It is simply 1/2-inch plywood and 2x4s with casters attached. I went down to Lowe's, I bought some gray paint and painted it gray. And anyway, well, let's jump outside and let's get to work, guys. Okay, we're out front. We got everything on the picnic table here, all the parts except for the one that you seen on the printer, of course. And I've got a orbital sander with a fairly coarse piece of sandpaper on it. These are they Velcro right on, very convenient, Black & Decker, they work great. And in my other video, the prior video, one part I go, Black & Decker. The reason for that, there was a movie back in the 70s, a martial arts movie made in Australia, and the guy in the movie, when he's throwing these Black & Decker saw blades and things, he goes, thank God for Black & Decker. And that's kind of where I was going with that, but I found the movie clip, the quality is really bad, I didn't throw it in, but if you remember the video when I said that, that's the reason I said that. But since we're using gloop, we need to scuff up all these parts, get a nice scuff on them. I'll take a damp rag, I'll wipe everything off, and then when we get back in the house after I get these going, we'll start gluing them up and see how it turns out, you know, using gloop, and let's get going. I'm going to start out a little loud, and then I'll turn the volume way down and play some music or something. So anyway, here we go. Let me grab some safety glasses so people don't say, well, you might get debris in your eye. You're right, I might. Let me grab some safety glasses. Always wear your proper PPE, personal protective equipment. I don't need gloves. Here we go. And there we go. We got them all done, so we're going to go back in the house. By the time I start gluing, that other part will be done that's on the iPass right now. I'll get it all cleaned up. I'll wipe these down with a damp rag. That way it gets any residue that might be on them, and we'll start gluing, so here we go. Alright, I'd like to show you all the companies that made this possible. First, we have Luban at luban3d.com. Make it big. I believe you can get a trial version of the software if you don't wish to purchase it right away. And just going through kind of shows some of the things you can do here with it. Making lithophanes, different types of objects. Kind of scroll through this, kind of give you an idea. Feel free to pause the video at any point and you can read any of the things on the screen. And last time I didn't take a look at the gallery. Let's take a look at their gallery. Here's some of the things that have been done by different people. And then moving on to Polymaker. Polymaker is my sponsor for all the filament. I have partnered with Polymaker and they are sponsoring this build. And here's at us.polymaker.com. And they literally have just about every type of filament you can think of and color. I love their filament. I mean, I tried a lot of different filaments in my life and I love their filament. A lot of beautiful colors. A lot of great things. And there'll be a referral link below in the description if you'd like to buy and use my referral link. That'd be greatly appreciated. It helps out the channel. And then moving on to 3D Gloop. 3dgloop.com is my glue of choice for gluing everything together. Gloop has sponsored my build. You just scuff up both surfaces and will give you a perfect bond if clamped properly and allow it to cure for 24 hours. It's a great for bed adhesion also. I haven't tried it for that, but... And then they have different types of glue for PLA, PETG, I believe ABS. Let's see, those science mugs, I showed you them earlier in a video. Those are really cool. They're currently on their website. You can get some samples to try out. Oh yeah, there you go. There's ABS loop right there. And then moving on to Wicked, that's sponsoring my model, my XenoMorph Alien. Here's their group over on Facebook. Wicked Art Patreon group. There's a huge community. They have like 30 to 40 designers and sculptors. Gabriel runs a team and they just do amazing work. Wonderful work. And here they are, their Patreon. If you join their Patreon, you'll never miss out on their models. They come out with each and every month. They come out constantly with more models. And here they are over on cults3d.com. Wicked. If you'd like to purchase things individually, they have amazing work. I've printed many things from them in resin and FDM. And that's over on cults3d. And here they are over on gumroad.com, 3dwicked.gumroad.com. You will not be disappointed purchasing any models from them. They do wonderful work. I've used a lot of their stuff in many of my videos. Alrighty, back to the video. Okay, I got all the parts here on the table, as you see here in this picture, and trying to find everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, I've got my keys, got my gloop, I got my duct tape, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You got to kind of figure out which way they go together, and then we'll start glooping everything up and going from there. Oh boy, this is big. Alright, and here's the tail, weighing in at 14 pounds. The XenoMorph alien tail is done. And you can see the key right there where it's going to tie into the waist, which I'll spin the camera around and show you in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to leave the duct tape on it now. It hasn't been a full 24 hours since I glued it, so I'll wait a minute. And one thing about gloop, as I mentioned in my prior videos, use it in a well-ventilated area. I have a fan on the floor that blows, and it, got all any fumes away from my nose, and I can barely smell it. But yeah, definitely have it in a well-ventilated area. It does have an odor, and it is fairly strong. When you get gloop on your hands, it dries like Elmer's glue on your hands. In other words, it'll dry clear and it'll peel right off very easily. It's very easy to clean up. So it's not like super glue where you get on your fingers and good luck, you gotta wait for it to wear off or pick it off in big chunks. It comes off very easy. Let me spin around the camera and I'll show you how this goes on. And here I'll put some pictures here on the screen. Here's all the pictures, or here is a picture of the lower section of the legs, all the parts that were involved. These are pictures from Luban when they're sliced up. I'll show you here on the screen. And here in this next picture is all the tail parts. And that's all the parts that I had. I'm currently printing everything for the upper torso. I have quite a few done. Right here on the screen I'll show you a picture. It'll have them all here on the table. And then I'm still printing away, and we're getting there. So it's looking pretty amazing. But let me line this up on the back and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's basically how it goes. I don't have it lined up exactly. I've got the key in the back of the butt area here. And the legs need to be repositioned a little bit, and the table's in the way, but yeah, it's getting there. That's pretty much how it looks, and I'd like to thank Luban very much for the software, for making this possible. I'd like to thank Polymaker. Thank you very much for Polymaker for sponsoring all the filament for this build. All the files came from Wicked 3D. Thank you very much, Gabriel and your team. And Gloop, I thank you so much, Gloop, for being able to make this possible so I can glue everything together. And we're currently, like I say, we're currently working on getting all the parts printed for the upper torso. I've got quite a few of them done. I've got a bunch to do on my Cheetah iFast printer. It's printing kind of slow. It's a big printer. It's not as fast as a Bamboo. And I have no more smaller parts that I can print on the Bamboo because I can bang them out that quick. I mean, they print really quick on the Bamboo. So until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment down below. Trying to grow my channel, and with all of you it is possible. And thank you very much for all my channel subscribers. I'll show them here on the screen. If you would like to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, please consider doing so. And put your name in the credits at the end of all my videos. And I really appreciate it, everybody. And until next time, happy printing. Take care.